Good evening. The news summary for this Tuesday, 18th August. Ralph Volse has announced his participation in the October presidential election and National Assembly elections as an independent candidate for the National Assembly election. He will be standing for Roche-Caïman. The theme for his campaign is Reconstruire Seychelles or Rebuild Seychelles.
Monsieur Volse, à cause ou debout dans des élections aujourd'hui?
Dans des élections, mon debout, c'est une question stratégique. À cause, par exemple, qu'on a mené campagne pour un bon péloton là.
Excuse us for this. We continue with the news. President Danny Faure has today appointed a commission of inquiry to inquire into the tragedy of the seahorse which occurred in the early hours of Sunday, 26th August 2018, off the coast of Quetivy. President Faure has appointed Justice Bernadette Reynaud as the chairperson of the commission. He has also appointed Captain Robert Morgan, Mr. Mark Roitis, Mr. Idney Bassett, and Mr. Joseph Athanasius as the other four members of the commission. The commission will be given 6 months to submit its report to the president. The number of positive COVID-19 cases in the country has gone up by 5 after the recording of 5 more active cases on board a Spanish fishing vessel, which has been previously released from quarantine. The new active cases are all Spanish seamen, which now makes a total of 6 active COVID-19 cases in the country, with a positive Nigerian citizen who is still in isolation at the Perseverance Family Hospital. This was announced by the Public Health Commissioner, Dr. Jude Gedeon, during this afternoon's press conference. There are 35 seamen on board the vessel, and so far 11 have been tested. Dr. Gedeon has also expressed concerns about visitors and tourism establishments which are breaching health and tourism regulations by accommodating visitors in non-certified establishments. The Public Health Commissioner has warned that there will be repercussions.
There are many visitors who are booking at approved establishment and are not showing up at the establishment. It means that they exit the airport, but they don't go to the booked establishment. They are going to other, probably unapproved establishment or even possibly private residence. This is not good because approved establishment have a set of procedures and protocol in place. If we have individuals, be it transportation or in accommodations that are tricking the system or that are doing things in a dishonest manner to take on these clients without the necessary preparedness, then it puts them at risk and it puts the rest of the population at risk. We ask them to stop, because when there are no-show, we'll be alerted by the tourism department. People, when they come for the PCR test, they'll have to explain where they were staying, if they were not staying in the approved accommodation. It is illegal to give wrong information, and it can lead even to deportation of the clients, firstly. Secondly, they may not be allowed to return within a certain time frame. So we ask, if anybody is doing that, we ask them to stop. If you have an establishment, apply for your license. Do like others who have invested their time and their resources to prepare the establishment to accommodate visitors.
The foreign exchange reserve is currently stable at $441 million that may be used. The governor of the central bank, Caroline Abel, says that despite effort by the central bank to use the reserve wisely in order to support the country for 18 months, there have been high demands for foreign exchange lately. Governor Abel says that if this continues, it will have a negative inflation effect, and the reserve will not be able to last up to 18 months. She is therefore urging everybody to spend wisely and only on what they need for the time being. All stakeholders associated with education and employment have this morning met President Danny Ford at State House to discuss the situation where there is an increase in the number of young people who are facing difficulties to get a job. This is due to the effect of the COVID-19 pandemic on the economy, where a lot of young people have been made redundant and some do not have the necessary experience and qualification to get a job. During the meeting, the head of the professional training centers discussed about the challenges they are facing, outlined their training programs, and how they can increase their intake so that more youths can join these centers without lowering their entry requirements. Every year, around 700 to 800 youths enter professional centers, while around 300 are left out. Linda Barallon is the Principal Secretary for Tertiary Education and Human Resource Development.
We've discussed a bit the selection procedures, the criteria for selection, and the opportunity that although we have criteria in place for each program, the provision is there for conditional offer. We also discuss primarily how can training centers increase their intake for learners. And this we're targeting 2021, while employment and sets, they are working towards dealing with the present situation of youth not in employment. And all the heads had a chance to share and discuss, and they all have a task now to put forward what will it take for all the centers to increase their capacity.
Teacher assistants from state schools will be able to enroll into a certificate course at the Seychelles Institute for Teacher Education as of next year. The course also applies for students who have completed their secondary studies and who wish to become a teacher assistant. The Minister for Education, Jean Simeon, says that the one-year certificate course aims at getting more youths to join the teaching profession and replace the expatriates. Minister Simeon said that the course will be a pathway for those who aspire to be teachers someday but are not able to meet the entry criteria for a diploma course in teacher education. As of next year, childminders and assistant daycare operators will need to enroll into a certificate course at the Seychelles Institute for Teacher Education site so that they may be able to register their business. The director for the Institute of Early Childhood Development, ICD, Sherry Shopi, says that ICD will no longer offer training sessions to childcare operators in order for them to register their businesses. Those training sessions will be replaced by the course at site, where participants may opt for a full-time course for a year or part-time course which will last for 18 months. That's the end of this news summary. Join me at 8 for the news bulletin in Creole. Until then, have a pleasant evening.